I bought the PSP console version you've probably never heard of, and in this video, we're gonna unbox it, test it out, and see if it's any good. Man, here it is. This is the PSP Street, and this this is so weird. So this console actually came out about the same time as the PS Vita, which is obviously the successor to the PSP. And yeah, here it is. It is a PAL-only console, and sure enough, the PSP Street. Like what an interesting model name. And it comes with Cars 2, and this other game that I have that looks like a PBS type of thing, but I have no idea what that game is. And yeah, flipping to the side here, we have an old faded sticker that's probably the sticker that originally was used in retail. This came from Ukraine, so I'm not sure like what store in Ukraine this came from. We also have, we got some advertisements for the two games here. And then yeah, here on the side it says PSP Street, enjoy great games on the go. But let's go ahead and open the box up and see what's actually inside of this thing. And inside of the box is another box and two games. So Sony's been doing this for a long time, where they kind of give you an outer sleeve for special editions and then a different type of thing on the inside. So this is the actual PSP Street box, and ooh, I mean, I like it. It's pretty cool. And you can see right off the bat, the PSP Street, it looks just like a PSP, but honestly a bit cheaper. Like I've never felt one in my hands, so I don't know what it feels like, but it just looks cheaper. That's all I can say about it. Looking around it, nothing special on it, just your typical writing on the front and back, and it is considered charcoal black. Of course, we have the two games here. We have Cars 2, which is, that's not in great condition, but opening it up, we've got the UMD, and that is an interesting disc. There's like no art or anything. It just says Disney Pixar. And then this one right here, Geronimo oh, that's what it said on the side of the box. It said, on that little label, it said Geronimo Stilton, in the Kingdom of Fantasy, the video game. No idea what that is, but opening it up, yeah, same thing here. So not much graphics going on, just got some text. But let's go ahead and put it to the side. Open up the PSP Street box, which is our third box of the day. And right here at the top, it looks like there are supposed to be some cords there maybe, but I don't see any. Oh, some pamphlets. Yo, wait, whoa. Oh, that's sick. Let's take a look at that in a second here. But first of all, we've got our charging cable of some sort here. Of course, it is European, so I don't have an adapter for that, but I do have a PSP charger that I can use. And then, of course, we have the PSP Street itself with more bubble wrap. I love how they used a lot of bubble wrap in this. And yeah, the console at first glance is, let's put that to the side and take a look at these pamphlets first. Okay, so we got a few things here. We have some like instruction booklets and stuff that I don't really care about, but we got this little, this cool little thing right here that translates to register your PSP system at euplaystation.com, which makes sense. And this is my favorite piece right here. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like it's got a stamp of some kind on it, like it was registered or went through some like QC process. Let me go ahead and scan this one. So it's got product model and serial number, buyer's last name, address, and phone, which don't appear there. Also purchase date and receipt number. Ooh, purchase date. Here we go. So that's I'm guessing that's 10/26/2012. That's awesome. I can't believe you could actually buy this thing in 2012. And then dealer seal, name, address, and phone number. So this is our dealer right here. Let me try to scan that. Okay, so it's popping up with it says electronics there, which makes sense. I can't scan the rest of it, but it's from some sort of electronics retail store, which is cool. So now for the fun part, guys. Let's pull out this PSP Street, take a look at it, take a look at the form factor, the buttons, everything, and also compare it to a PSP 2000 and a PSP Go, which I have on hand here. And you see the PSP Go is not really comparable. It's just a slide-up device and much smaller. So we'll put that one to the side. But the PSP 2000, as you can see, it looks very similar. I mean, in terms of form factor, it's almost exactly the same. Has pretty much the same curves and everything. Fits in the same, same shape. Now the PSP 2000 actually is a bit skinnier and honestly feels a good bit lighter, which makes sense. I think the PSP Street was really meant to be like a budget version of the PSP towards the end of its life cycle. Let's go ahead and just take a look at these and kind of compare. So first thing you'll notice is the PSP Street is not glossy. It's got a matte finish, and the PSP 2000 and pretty much every other PSP has a glossy finish, which I feel is more premium. And then looking at the buttons, these are all the D-pad, the analog stick, and the XY. Circle and square are all the same. They actually feel about the same. Actually, I feel like the PSP Street buttons actually feel a tad bit better than my PSP 2000 buttons, but that's just me. Now the PSP Street has one speaker up here. The PSP 2000 has two speakers up here. And then honestly, one of the biggest differences is the string of buttons here on the bottom of the console. So on the PSP 2000, we have home, volume, screen brightness, music, select, and start. Now on this one, we have the home button, volume, select, and start, and you can see these are like actual physical cutout buttons, whereas this one is just like a strip of buttons, which I thought were touch sensitive, but they actually are each buttons. They just don't really look alike buttons. It's kind of, I don't know, kind of strange. I like this little layout a little bit better. And then flipping to the bottom, you can see we have the power jacks in about the same spot. We also have headphone jacks on both of them. And the PSP Street actually has the power here on the bottom instead of on the side like the PSP 2000. Now here on the top, the PSP Street is actually a good bit different. It has our mini USB port, our light indicators for like power and stuff, and then also our memory card slot is on the top and easily accessible, unlike the PSP 2000, which has it tucked away on the side here. So I actually like that about the PSP Street. Other than that, it's about the same, except this one has a WLAN port and the PSP Street does not. So I'm actually not sure if the PSP Street has internet or not. Probably doesn't, but we'll check that out soon. And shoulder buttons, I feel like the shoulder buttons feel a bit clickier and cheaper, honestly, on the PSP Street. But that's just me. Now flipping to the back, I believe they look about the same, but it looks like the PSP Street has a fully integrated back, whereas the PSP 2000 has these ridges, and of course you just snap open the UMD drive right there. And then the PSP Street, let's check this out. Okay, oh, interesting. So it's a lot harder to pop open, and it pops open the entire back, which is just feels wrong, honestly. But I mean, I guess that works. That's just strange. So guys, I just wanted to jump in here and mention that honestly, I went pretty light on the PSP for the Streets in this video. Low-key, it's a piece of crap. I mean, it feels cheap in the hands, it looks cheap, the build quality is inferior in every way possible compared to every other PSP that exists. I get that it was the cheap version back in the day, but still, it's not good, especially nowadays when you buy a PSP Street, it's going to cost more than just any other PSP, so there's just no point, and you'll see later in this video, it just gets worse and worse. Yeah, it's interesting to see, but this thing it's not good. But yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and put the PSP 2000 to the side and turn this bad boy on and see if it works. Yo, let's go. We got life here, and we have we got a little orange yellowish background here, which is pretty cool. And we got a Simpsons theme. Let's go, my man. Got the game donut memory stick. We got game, video, music, photo, settings. So it looks like we don't have internet because basically on the PSP 2000, let me show you real quick. Okay, yeah, so here on the PSP 2000, you have PlayStation Network, also your network. You also have this extras tab. So there's not quite as much going on the PSP Street, which is actually kind of nice. It's not quite as cluttered. But let me go ahead and just explore this for a bit, and I'll come back and kind of break down what I find on this thing. All right, guys, so a few things to show you here. Now, first of all, this guy must have really been a Simpsons lover because there's a lot of Simpsons themes, as you can see. Scroll down, Simpsons. We also got Sonic and some Mario stuff down here. Just typical custom theme. Actually, there's a lot more than I thought there were. I did not scroll down that far before. But anyways, cool custom themes. And also, I love this Simpsons logo right here. It's like the Finder look, the old Finder icon from Mac, but it's Simpsons themed. I just think it's so cool. Now, a few other things. If we go to our power save settings, you'll see we actually have the screen brightness integrated in the software. So you got level 1, 2, and 3. Instead of the, obviously the PSP 2000 has your screen brightness button on the console itself, which is cool. But of course, that's probably a cost savings thing here on the PSP Street, so kind of expected. Now, really the huge gotcha here is that this console's modded. Had no idea, but I clicked on the memory stick, saw that we had the 6.60 Pro mod thing. I booted it up, and it immediately populated all of these games here. And if you go to the system software, you can see that you can see our system software is 6.60 Pro Mod C2P. So that is, I looked it up and kind of did a little bit of research, and it is modded, of course. And we got some free games. I always love when we got free games. We got Crazy Taxi, Daxter, and just some other various stuff like Pac-Man, GTA. So not a whole lot going on here, but this guy did take advantage of some custom firmware. And we have one bit of save data, which is Soul Calibur from about, looks like March 8th, 2024, so about 2 months before I'm making this video. Which, I mean, it's kind of cool to see that it's been used recently. Now, it might have just been to test this and for the listing, but anyways, I'll assume this person was actually playing in March of 2024. Now, one thing I want to point out, one more thing between the PSP 2000 and this one, is the PSP 2000, I feel like the viewing angles are better. You can see right here where you can still see the screen on the PSP 2000 at an angle. Now, on the PSP Street, when you go from that angle, you can't see hardly anything. Like, I can see a little bit, but not really. And trust me, I've been trying to play this thing for quite a while now at this angle, and it's hard to play. I have to kind of angle it a little bit so you guys can see it and I can also see it. So just something to point out. But let's go ahead and play some games. First thing I want to do is try to boot up one of these games that was downloaded on here and just see if it works. All right, so it definitely works. Playing some Crazy Taxi here. I'm not very good at Crazy Taxi. Haven't played it in a long time. But it does work here. Now the thing I really want to try, I'm dying to try this, but dude, like this back piece is awesome. Like it's awesome and weird at the same time that just the entire back piece comes apart. I will say it's actually pretty hard to, I feel it's gonna break. It's just kind of hard to open it up. But anyways, let's go ahead and put in one of these games. Let's try out Cars 2, which we have here, of course. Is it PSP region free? I don't think so. But let's go ahead and just start with the game I know works. Oh, yikes. Quit, please. I don't know what happened to start with, but I put in the UMD and it was making a loud squeaking noise. I don't know if it just didn't go in all the way or whatever. I ejected it and put it back in, and now it's working fine. And yeah, can you? Let me just let you listen to the noise. You can actually like barely hear the UMD at all, which is, I mean, that's great because the UMDs in the old PSPs were really loud. But let me play this for a bit and make sure it works. Oh, okay, never mind. It just like decides to squeak every once in a while, which is not ideal. This is a weird racing game. It's from a weird angle. But let's go ahead and I want to go back and try out this other game they gave me and see if it's just a game issue or see if it's just see if it's a console issue. Yeah, definitely a console issue because I put in the second game and it's making the same awful squeaking noise. That's awful. Can I just spray some WD-40 inside? That's not a great idea. I do feel like I could probably just put in. Wait, hold on. I just noticed. Is this screen? You can't see when it's not on a white screen, but the screen almost looks like it's yellowed at the corners. Yeah, there it is again. So is it just me or does it look yellowed a bit on the side of the screen there? That's disappointing. So we got a somewhat yellowed screen. I feel like I've seen that on a few PSPs, like old PSPs in the past before. Between that and the squeaky disk drive, I'm gonna have to message the seller or something. Paying $200 for a PSP and getting a squeaky disk drive makes it basically unplayable. Now something else I want to show you guys is the battery. The battery kind of ruins the PSP Street. Let me just explain why. You can see the UMD drivers right there, and you have your battery right there, which you can kind of see. You'd think that maybe you could just click a tab and pull it out and put a new battery in if you had to, because on the PSP 2000 and all the other PSPs, basically as you can see, all you gotta do is pull that cover off, battery pops out and you can replace it. And then basically it appears that the battery is like glued in to the console, so you can't just like pull it out and swap one in. You have to actually like pry it out of place. But guys, that is the PSP Street. Let me know down below if you like it. Let me know down below what you think versus the PSP 1000, 2000, 3000, and Go. Honestly, I would put it 5th on my list. Like, it's my least favorite, so kind of unfortunate. But guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.